There you go.
Woo!
Some Astanza, some old school Spanish.
Some Lufthansa. They did it. The Lufthansa heist. Jimmy, you son of a bitch.
Actually, Spanish study. I'm sorry. It's Spanish study.
Whatever. It's all gravy, baby.
Some old Spanish basketball. Anyways.
Welcome to the
show.
podcast. What's up, folks? This is Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe. I'm Chris Evans. That's Trevor Ahlstrom. Hey, what's up?
Got the graveliest of shits and the most gorgeous of Georges.
Man, Trevor just has to remind these folks.
Well, people aren't
In
that.
case they forget.
People aren't that smart sometimes, Chris. Right?
Like who? Give me examples.
Christopher
Columbus.
Yes, fuck that guy. By the way, Christopher Columbus, you hear me in the other region? We're still fighting. Fuck you. You're dumb. Suck it.
Yeah, Trevor's got a real thing against Christopher Columbus. He's thinking about trying to build a time machine, go back in time, and punch a hole in his ship or something.
Yeah, I'd want to do like the player haters time traveling thing. I'd be like, guys, Christopher Columbus.
Uh-oh. Trevor's going to come in there and shoot a nigga. So what's up, Trevor? How's everything been going?
I mean, busy, but it's going steady though.
Okay, what are you busy with?
I'm doing the podcast right now. so
Oh,
I'm busy.
you're a busy boy.
But like you work full time, and then yesterday I went to see Dylan DeArmond's art show.
Oh,
But
how
he
was
had
that?
It was good. At Oakshire Brewing Company. He's with a group of shout out to Eugene Darkroom Group. They
Yeah,
wanted me
he
to
was
say that.
talking about that.
But that's the group of professional photographers that have all taken classes, and now they're on their own, producing and selling their own photographs.
On the road again. I can't wait to take some more photos again.
Nice. Good job. So this is one that Dylan took as the woods.
It's a
So let's
good
use it.
picture. It's a waterfall in a
Yeah.
black and white backdrop.
Somewhere he took. This is one of the other photographers who's pretty cool. It's a picture of a firework.
Yeah.
But
Somebody
they took
got a picture of a firework.
It looks like a burning cross. looks like a different sort of event, kind of.
I guess.
Nah, I'm just me being a
Yeah.
terrible person.
Yeah, it just looks like a firework.
Yeah, it's a firework. It's a firework.
All
But
right.
anyways, it was cool. They're. I'm not sure when they're gonna do it again, but Dylan DeArmond's the guy that did the cool multi-mixed media picture for us. Came over. Those that don't
He
know.
mixed up the multis and the medias.
all of them. So yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
shout out to local
Well, you had
professional photographers.
you had a good time. It sounds like.
Yeah, and then I went off and then went to D&D. So I didn't even go home. I went straight from that to Dungeons & Dragons and then came home.
Okay.
It was a
You sent
fucking
me a
day.
picture of you walking on train tracks
Yes.
the other day.
Because it was right by the train tracks.
Ah, okay.
I just wanted to send you an
The
all, but
rail
it's funny.
spikers, man. They were the
Yeah.
rail spikers.
I was just making a joke about my family, too.
Oh, okay.
I said, I sent a picture of the train tracks. I said, family tradition.
Mm.
I was like, I'll make a joke out of it.
It's a family tradition. There was a guy that got arrested on Cops that sang that as he was getting arrested for being in his dad's house smoking crack with all of his friends. And I mean, he had to be in his 40s or something, but he's living upstairs in his dad's house. And when the cops show up,
Smoking
because-
crack.
Yeah, because dad doesn't like his crackhead friends.
Oh,
so the cops
surprise.
show up, and there's a couple in the bathroom, and they threw a bunch of crack stems in the toilet and shit, and they were trying to get rid of it. But they arrested the guy, the son, for having, people over the house that weren't supposed to be there and shit, obviously, with drugs. And as he's getting put into the car, he looks at the camera and he goes, "It's a family tradition."
And they get stuffed into the
yeah,
guy.
he gets put into the fucking cop car. I was like, what is this dude's fucking deal?
He's gonna try out for the talent show in jail. I don't know. He's just getting ready.
And getting rowdy and ready. Yeah, my day was pretty good. No big fires to put out.
That's good.
Everybody got taken care of. We did a good job with the customers. I got to talk to my my district manager today, and I told him, I was like, yo, I fucking hate this job. He's like, you want to do something else? I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna probably go on Monday and work at another store just loading trucks. So they're like, you're a good enough forklift driver, do you just want to load trucks all day? I'm like, yeah, maybe. We'll see how it goes, because the problem is that I kick ass at what I do, but other people suck.
Yep, I know
and
the
they
feeling.
drag me down, and they fucking make my world more stressful to work in. So I guess his idea was that he's like, if you go in there and you can just organize more and help to ship out the trucks faster, that'd be a huge bonus. And I was like, man, I know I can do that, so we'll go see what it's like. And hopefully, we'll have to see.
Should
But
be.
I
It'll
might
probably
be
be
able to
less.
wear one headphone. That might be cool. If I get to wear one headphone and listen to music, ooh.
That'd be cool.
Because all I'm going to be doing all day is on a forklift. As long as I got one ear open, I don't see any reason that maybe I can't sneak a headphone in.
I've done that before. Breaking the law, breaking the law.
I'm always breaking the law, man, but laws are made because people get hurt and things happen. But if you break a stupid law and nobody gets hurt, nobody seems to give a fuck.
Like jaywalking. I did that multiple times today.
Exactly. If you break a law that hasn't hurt or obstructed anybody, honestly,
Yeah.
what have you done wrong?
I cross the street when there's no cars coming at me. I'm not
Exactly.
endangering anyone, so what's
Except
the
for
problem?
yourself, and when you're taking your own life into account, that's living.
If there were no cars coming across, so I was good. I made it across the street, I was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be a better venue than fucking sitting at my job currently and just having a bunch of people that half-ass everything, and then one person have to do 3 times as much because
should.
everybody half-asses.
You should go do the forklift thing.
Well, it was nice because now I gave them breathing room so that they could hire new people. I got the new people in there. I pretty much trained them. They're good to go. Their biggest issue isn't me. It's the fucking management there, and it's above the management. So the people that make decisions about how everything works, they don't work in the fucking bottom floor, bro. They're not loading trucks every day or making saw blades sharper and shit. That's where it always gets me, is I hate motherfuckers making dumb decisions that I know immediately. I'm like, this isn't gonna work.
Well, at least where I'm at, it's a small company, so
Yeah.
all my bosses are literally right there fixing saw blades
Yeah.
feet from me, so
Yeah.
it's different.
Well, this company has,
But I've been in places
13
like
locations,
Yeah.
pretty big, so big enough. that
I've
it
worked
needs a
for
structure.
places where you had people telling you what to do, and like when I worked at Lands, I was building cabinets, loading trucks with cabinets, running
Sure.
machines, and I
Sure.
had people coming over making decisions when they had never built a cabinet or loaded a truck in their life.
Sure.
And I was telling them, this is what's good, and they didn't like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I do this every day.
Yeah, no, I know how
I know.
long it's going to take.
And
I,
I was-
know if it's going to work or not.
And like you,
Maybe you should listen to me because I have the fucking knowledge.
But then I was called a smartass.
You are a smart
Yes.
ass.
And
But,
I made this one bald-headed guy angry and start cussing.
He started getting his head.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if when bald dudes got upset, their head turned red? Like it just started to shine like a little fucking, a little.
Be like, hey, what's
pimple.
up, dickhead?
And, his head just.
This is like a
beet
circumcised
red.
penis.
Yeah, he looks like he got a sunburn.
Hey, you look like a circumcised penis been out in the sun too long,
Like,
bud.
man, you're about to pop, aren't you? Your
Yeah.
pimple head's about to. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think there's
Shout out
always,
to angry bald-headed guys.
Well, I think there's always that miscommunication or that disconnect because the people that don't have to do it don't think of the logistics of time, of people, of things going wrong.
Yeah.
Because to take in all those accounts, you're making up basically a floor plan for how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
And if you got a shit idea, it shouldn't be fucking put into action at all. Especially if somebody knows that it's not going to work. But I don't know. Sometimes you got to try new shit too. Sometimes trying new things, it helps out. But
Moving on to news.
yeah,
Okay.
newses.
So, we have the largest fentanyl seizure in Eugene history that just happened.
Who got what? Did the cops get it?
The cops got it, and it was apparently a guy that had come down from Portland, and he was selling to people here in Eugene, and they went and checked some places around here.
Yeah.
They found 18 pounds of solid fentanyl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And a lot of it was in what they do, fake capsules of like Xanax and other things. So do like fake capsules.
Fake, or they're like faux pills or whatever.
Yeah.
The weird thing about fentanyl is that it's being used to cut other drugs like meth and fucking coke.
A lot of fentanyl is made in China and out of the country.
Well, it's made in America as well. We make fentanyl because it's used medically. Fentanyl is a drug that is used in medicine industry, but it wasn't until 10 or 12 years ago that it became a street drug when people figured out it had a higher potency than heroin.
Yes.
You know
why it's so big, and they use it to cut it.
Well, it's the problem of people don't know when to say when. Yeah. And when you don't know when to say when, you're just opening the door for
Pandora's
crazier
box.
and crazier and crazier drugs. You know,
like Russia, you have crocodile, which is a degraded version of gasoline, and they use eye drops as an activator. And it literally eats away sections of your skin.
I am all for legalization of cannabis. Tobacco's already legal, so is alcohol. Those will never go away. But I'm also fucking about cocaine. Like, if cocaine could be produced properly and structuralized,
I don't have a problem with that.
Coke would be fine for most people. But because, it gets the big black eye from, it's a drug from Colombia flown in by the cartels and, all this fear shit, bro. Coke has helped the people of Colombia to become a crazy prosperous country. Yeah.
That actually leads perfectly to my album review. Colombia. Ooh. Come on.
Spooky. But yeah, no, cocaine isn't as bad as people make it. But like anything, people don't know when to say when.
Yeah.
So that in turn makes it a problem.
It could be like eating too much broccoli.
Anything can be turned into a drug if you do too much of it. Water can be turned into a drug. But it's all about the dosages and how you're using it. So just be careful what you put in your body, people.
Yes.
What you got, man? You were talking about your albums.
My albums. So I got Self Supine. And Self Supine was a Mexican gentleman that was inspired by all the music coming up from Colombia in the 70s, 80s during the peak of cocaine and Escobar.
Yup.
But along with that, not only did cocaine flow up north from Colombia, but so did cumbia music, which came from the fields
of Colombia.
The hills of Colombia where cocaine was being gathered.
Yeah.
That's what the music that people listened to as they were being murdered and making cocaine was cumbia.
One of the most interesting things about the people that live in the fields, basically, they live there, it's families and generations of them, is most of them from like 10 and up all eat coca leaves. A lot of them do coke. A lot of them, it helps them to work because they're a bunch of poor ass farmers living in a hill just constantly trying to produce coca leaves.
Yeah.
Because to make good cocaine, you have to have a ton of coca. Mm-hmm. And it's like hash. It's a similar concept. You can make cannabis way more potent by compounding all the trichomes and the THC together and the plant matter. But most people don't need that. Most people need flour, and most people need coca leaves. Coca leaves are a great way to get energy. You just got to eat a couple of them.
I've eaten coca leaves before.
But, again, it all goes back to people not knowing when to say when.
Yes.
This shit's interesting. But cumbia music is very interesting. A lot of the Latin countries have their own kind of distinct music. Brazil, Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, a lot of the larger countries and some of the smaller islands all have their own distinct music. And definitely cumbia is something I heard a ton growing up in South Florida because there's a lot of Colombians. There's a ton of coke money that came in from South Florida.
So you have coke and cumbia pretty much are hand in hand.
Bro, you have Dominicans, you have Colombians. Every South American country has its own little population in South Florida.
I wish I had gotten this because California. It was just Mexico and then a few other countries, but mainly Mexico. I wish I had gotten like you a plethora of different ones.
And it's so interesting because you wouldn't ever really think of. Well, you do kind of. Florida is a port for the world, but you'd never think it was just all the different walks of life, man.
Sure.
It really is. It's kind of like New York in that way. There's so many different people.
Of the Southeast, definitely.
When I was bouncing on the bar, at the bar I used to work at in Fort Lauderdale, these fucking people would get straight out of the port. I'm talking sailors, Carnival cruise ship motherfuckers, and people from all over the world, like South Africa and Germany, and just came from everywhere. Yeah, it's a really big tourist attraction.
And this was in Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, it's famous.
Big beach.
Yeah. Definitely different than the beaches I grew up with. Northern California beaches that are rocky, cold, and then there's pine trees and redwoods.
You had to be really good with passports. You had to know a lot about fake passports, which isn't something most bouncers deal with.
But you dealt with passports.
A lot of them, and tons of out-of-state IDs. So you get to know states, their ID cards, basically.
That's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to Sal Sapine.
Yeah.
He was a Mexican gentleman who in the 1970s started to use this Colombia-style music, and he started to spread it to the rest of Latin America and the U.S. even, because there's obviously a large Latino population here. So he became a superstar of cumbia, and pretty much like the Bob Marley of cumbia. He's up there.
That's awesome.
And really good. I'm sure you've heard him. I definitely grew up, when I realized who he was, I was like, oh, I heard him when everyone just spoke Spanish and we just gutted fish.
Yeah.
A lot of jobs like you, I grew up with a lot of construction and labor jobs where they didn't speak much English, and it was mariachi and cumbia.
I have no fucking clue what some Latino music and Latino music is, but man, does it sound good.
Like the stuff I was just playing earlier.
Exactly. Like, I have no idea what they were saying linguistically, but man, when you hear the band play and when you hear the singer just belting his heart out, it's a good thing, man.
I can understand most of it, but there's some I can't. But you're right. Like, certain emotions are beyond language.
Yep. You don't even need to hear it, man.
You know a man is
somebody, or
like when you hear a man
something.
like he's crying about like despair in life.
Yeah.
Like you're like, all right, I get it, man.
And most disenfranchised people, most poor people in the world have a certain kind of music that they cling to because it keeps you moving, man. Good music keeps you going through the roughest times of your life.
Like out here, it was blues and rap and also punk rock too. A lot of disenfranchised poor people listen to that and metal. So, but the album of Sal Sapine I want to recommend is Grandis Exodus, Grand Exit. It's kind of like his greatest hits.
Nice.
And I mean, the man did music for 40 plus years.
Awesome.
And he passed away recently. But
okay. Yeah,
legend now.
Gotta die sometime, man.
But he did a whole lot, and the song I will recommend is Cumbia Sobre el Rio, which translates to the river flavor of cumbia, pretty much.
Sounds good.
And it's a good album. It's 45 minutes, and there's 12 songs, each song like 3 to 5 minutes, and it's, from what I can understand, because I can understand that, but just
we need
about
some
life.
Spanish speakers on the podcast, Trevor.
We do. I speak somewhat. Like if I get back into it full on, I can start speaking again. When I'm around it all the time, then I pick it up real quick. But it's mainly just about life.
Yeah.
This is basic. This is for basic folk about life.
People making songs about their life, man. That's pretty much how music goes, I think.
So yeah. But it's not anything.
How many coca leaves would you give it out of 10?
So for coca leaves and accordion, by the way, this guy was a really good accordion player. He sang and played accordion. Then he had a band where you would have guys doing guitar and drums, and you would have brass instruments. Like, it was a real mix. But for coca leaves, I would give it probably 8 out of 10 coca leaves.
That's a lot of coca leaves.
A lot of cocaine, but yeah.
Good stuff.
Shout out.
All right. Well, what else do we got on the old agenda, man?
We got movie review, if you want to do that.
Yeah, I can run into a movie review.
You're a Blade Runner.
Yeah, I watched the original Blade Runner the other day,
Whoop, whoop.
and I'd
It's a
never
good
sat
movie.
down and watched it.
Oh man.
Just not having, complete knowledge of it, but I've heard about it through a lot of people talking about it over the years. It was made in 1982.
Yeah.
And dude, some of
Ridley,
this
Ridley Scott.
yeah, and some of the crazy CGI and special effects were definitely way ahead of its time. For the 80s, man, the best you could hope for is like Goonies or a Rocky movie or something.
Especially early 80s.
But for some reason, this one movie in particular had some of the best CGI. I mean, better than Star Wars probably. But the story follows Harrison Ford's character as a retired cop, basically. In the future, they're called Blade Runners. And he gets commissioned to come out of retirement to take down these four. In the future, they have basically AI robots that are human-like, and so he has to take them out,
Replicants.
and kill them. Yeah,
Replicants, yeah.
because they've gone rogue, basically, and
Yeah.
they're only supposed to live a short time, which is 4 years, because it was like a fail-safe in case something happened. But it's such an in-depth story about this guy falling in love with one of them and him fucking just barely surviving. He kills almost all of them.
What was the guy at the end? It looks like fucking Billy Idol.
Yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Idol looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And towards the end, I actually didn't get to see the very, very ending.
Oh,
I fell asleep.
dude.
I fell asleep the last 10 minutes, but I'm saving it for tonight so I
It's
can
good.
finish off the movie.
I won't spoil it, but I will say it's good. I've
Yeah.
seen it. Yeah, it's good.
But Blade Runner as a movie, way ahead of its time. Harrison Ford, maybe one of his best roles. I'm not a huge Harrison Ford dude, but really cool in this
It's
movie.
good. And the director's the same guy that did Matrix, Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
So you could tell, like, I even heard an interview, like, Blade Runner helped give him ideas for Matrix.
Of course.
So it helped definitely lead into it.
Yeah, and just out of 10 Blade Runners, that's a 9. That's a 9 Blade Runner movie, man. I want to watch the
Good
new
movie.
one now because I've seen the
Oh.
older one.
Do you want to watch that with me? I
That'd be
actually
cool.
want to watch it
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we should check it out.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be really cool to see the old one and then see the new one, kind of see the
Be a good
differences.
perspective.
And
Yeah.
and because the difference in timing is like 30 years, between. So or maybe more than that, maybe more than because I think the new one came out in 2019 or 18.
Well, like 82, so yeah. I mean, it would be 40 years right now, so
Yeah.
38 years. Like, yeah, a lot of shit's changed in 38 years.
And to see like the difference in special effects and CGI now, whew, man, pretty crazy. But as long as they keep a good story, man, I'm always down for a cool sci-fi movie. That's why I loved Jet Li's The One. You ever see that?
Yes.
That was such a cool one with like the multiverse theory and stuff, and him fighting himself.
Yeah. That was definitely some Avengers shit.
Sci-fi is pretty dope when it's done well, man, but sci-fi can get really stupid really fast.
Yeah.
So you gotta like have a decent story, have some good action.
Like, one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies is The Thing.
I don't think I've
Carpenter
ever
from
watched it all the way
Oh,
through.
dude.
I've watched bits and pieces of The Thing.
Really good. It's about a team of scientists in Antarctica that this strange thing that turns out to be an alien that can replicate it turn into whatever it wants to and trick the people and then devour them. But it's by director John Carpenter, and the main actor is
Can't be listening to the Carpenters. Everybody's gonna think we're gay.
no, it's Brett. It's Brett. The Carpenters are
No, I know.
same group.
That's
The same
I
scene.
thought of Chris.
No, it's
I
good.
thought of Chris.
I promise you, the Carpenters used to probably play with Brett.
They toured a lot together.
Mamas and the Papas were probably the
Mamas and the
headliner.
Papas,
We're
yeah.
the headliner. Maybe Sonny and Cher
The
would show
monkeys
up.
came on to get
Yeah.
everybody out of there at the end.
But yeah, it's definitely it's like some early mid '60s like folk pop music.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
By the way, speaking of Silver Scroll, I want to talk about your breakfast.
Yeah, a
Have you
little
had them?
breakfast date. We here was the funny part. I was getting ready to go down at 11 like we had planned, And I was a couple minutes late. I was like just grabbing things and running downstairs real fast. I'd been ready for a while, but I was just waiting to go. And on the trip down, I'm taking the elevator. It's like maybe 11:02. Chris is calling me and leaving a voicemail, and he's like, "Hey, Chris, where you at? I'm waiting." Yeah, because he had been waiting to do this for a while. So we walked down to the original Pancake House, sat down. We got a booth.
Nice.
Yeah, fancy boys living that booth life.
Yes, booth life.
But immediately Chris knew what he wanted. Like he had been planning on getting some good food, man.
He's an old man. He's got
a
a lot of time to plan it.
Yeah.
Or you and I are just like, I guess eggs.
Yeah,
But
something. But he was really excited, and we ordered. I got sausage gravy. I got extra eggs and sausage, and then I got 3 pancakes, and that was pretty fucking good. Chris ended up getting an omelet and some home fries, all that good stuff, and he devoured it, man. He was waiting on that food. We talked about how he's been doing. He says he's been great. We talked about life, and we just chit-chatted, caught up, make sure he's doing okay. He's doing okay. And on the walk home, man, this was the funniest part. I saw a bus go by, and I go, "Don't you think Trevor should get a car?" And Chris was like, "I don't know," because he doesn't have a car. I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't make much sense." But I was asking him if he wanted to join the podcast on Sunday. And he goes, "I don't know, man. I got a lot of things going on." I'm like, what do you have going on? And he's like, "I don't know, but maybe."
The old man that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, he hangs out around the house most of the time. But I love that he stays so busy that
doing nothing.
Yeah, doing stuff.
Not much. I'm trying to get him to draw again too, because he draws well. I'm like, "Chris, start drawing again, man." He's like, "All right. Well, I got all these things going on." What? You have nothing keeping
I
you.
think that Chris really wants us to just come over to our old apartment and hang out and get drunk like we used to.
But we've told him that doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't work because there's people there we particularly don't want to see, and there's also bad memories at that place that we just don't want to relive. So, I'm sorry, Chris, you're going to have to make the trip over here.
You gotta move on. You gotta always move forward, never backward.
Progression. Hell yeah, E40 style. Yeah, man. But it was a great day, man. I don't really get to do a ton of nice stuff for myself, and going to sit down and have a nice breakfast is one of the few things I do take a lot of enjoyment in, just because it's something I did with my dad growing up, and it really helps me to cool my jets, and kind of think about where I'm at in my life. It's always a good thing. Yeah.
I don't eat out there often, but
we'll have to go out to IHOP again and get some more racism from a guy. That racist dude at IHOP. What the fuck? A little Lonely Boys context. We talked about this a few episodes ago, but as we were leaving IHOP from a really weird service because our waiter quit in the middle.
And it was on.
It wasn't our fault, but our waiter just quit.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
It was Labor Day.
And as we're coming out of there, a family comes in. It's a Mexican family, maybe like 10 or 13 of them. Large family. And this old white guy walks by, and he's like, "Well, I guess they just got him off the bus from Texas, huh?" And we were just so taken back by it. We couldn't believe that this dude...
All I could say was like...
I didn't say anything. I didn't even understand what the fuck he was talking about immediately.
All I said was, whatever. I was like, whatever. Like, that's all I could say. I was like, whatever, man.
This dude was so racist. He caught us both off guard. And then before we even had a chance to come up with anything to be like, "You piece of shit," he was out the door. So we were just standing there, both looking at each other like, how racist can you be, man? Fucking asshole.
And it's not like making a light joke. Like, he was being serious.
He's dead fucking serious, man. And it pisses me off because that generation is dying out, and I just
man
wish that most of
he's
them
about
fucking
80.
die.
He's about 80.
He's an old white man who thinks it's all still cool to be racist as fuck. Man, get over yourself, bro.
Smoking them jazz cigarettes, some Negroes.
Oh,
You mean
man.
I'm smoking weed with my black friend? Yes, go fuck yourself.
People suck.
Yeah.
Everybody, you suck.
Yeah.
But we love you, though.
Those of you that don't suck, awesome. Those of you that suck,
If you're
get
listening to
better.
this podcast, you probably don't suck. But
Also, if you're listening to this podcast, you're part of the resistance.
you're part of the resistance.
Get ready.
Skynet's about to come online. We got to get John Connor.
So we also got.
Have you seen this girl? Her name is Sarah. Yeah, no, man. People just piss me off with how fucking ridiculous they are sometimes.
Got the old Weber Dam.
Oh yeah, Trevor's all excited about this damn story.
Yeah. Real quick joke. What did the fish say when he swam into a wall?
Damn.
So yeah. And up here in the U of jeans.
And the Uest of jeans.
The Uest of jeans, the genus of U's. Come on, you gotta give me that one. This guy.
This
But
guy.
anyways. We live in Eugene. And
God, Trevor, just pick a page already, man. He's like flipping through the whole newspaper.
It was the
He's
front
like,
page.
man, I got this printed word. It's so difficult to
ASMR
find.
sounds. I'm adding sound effects right now. That's what they did back in the old days, Chris, in the 20s and 30s on radio.
Yeah, we'll see now. What's the new news, huh?
Like for thunder, they would literally shake paper, like shake pigs. That's what we're doing.
They'd shake a piece of tin.
Yeah, like
Looks like some storms are rolling in on Thursday.
Shout out Prairie Home Companion because they were a show in the 60s and 70s from Minnesota that reenacted that old school radio of doing like making your own sounds.
Shout out
Funny
to
stories.
Pappy O'Daniel Flower Hour from Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Oh,
The Pappy
Yes.
O'Daniel Flower Hour where they're playing like fuck. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. And then they were like, that was that new one. Please don't take my sunshine away.
And that's an old bluegrass song now that you have to sing in churches. Like it's an old bluegrass
Yeah.
song. But anyways, back to the dam. So 30 miles east of here, as you head up to the Cascade Mountains, there's a town called Leeburg, and this, just like Dexter and some other towns, or Blue River, they have the Mackenzie River, which flows from the Cascades and down into eventually Eugene, and then eventually it empties out the ocean. But we, Eugene and Springfield area and some other towns around get most of its power from Mackenzie River and from this dam. And then
Think of the power.
and in 2018, a lot of it had to get shut down just because it was this dam and canal was built almost 100 years ago, and they've like as they've gone along made
Gotta
some
fix
updates.
it, man. You gotta fix
But
it.
it's just an old thing, and there's a lot of considerations on whether they should shut it down completely, partially shut it down, reopen it completely, or open it part way. So those are the four options. And
Yeah.
they're trying to, by December, they're supposed to like make a suggestion of what to do, and then from there it's going to take a few more years to figure it out. But
They're weighing their options.
they're weighing their options, trying to find the least bad. So there's the whole thing of like, you know, what's best for the economy versus what's best for the nature. So there's a whole lot of
Well, that's the problem. We aren't good for nature by nature.
natures. No.
Humans have to adapt to their environment, so we alter our environment. But in doing that, you disturb your environment. So disturbing your environment in general is fucking it up.
Yes.
It's just how fast and how rough are we fucking the world up, you know?
Which is a lot.
Yeah,
And,
we're fucking up a lot of things. Hydroelectric dams are one of the good things that we do have going for us. So I think we should keep a lot of them in running order. But if that means that it has to be shut down for a certain amount of time, I don't see the problem, you know. But it's going to cause people's electric bill to go up. It's going
And-
to cause, you know, some issues with, you know, construction timing.
And out here, Eve Webb is who runs it, and that's the Eugene Water and Electric Board.
There's only one company. There
They have a
is
fucking
no other. They have a monopoly.
stranglehold.
They have a monopoly.
Yes, on the
It's
water.
so
and fire.
funny because like
And they're the ones that are in charge of this canal and this dam.
Well, if you were to say, "Hey, fuck you, E-Web, you've been terrible to me. I'm going to the other guy." They'd be
There
like,
is no
what
other
other
guy.
guy? We're the
Exactly.
only game in town, asshole. And it's like, fuck, you're right. I'm going to Hamster Power. I have a team of 2,000 hamsters
go.
running on wheels constantly. Just a
Endless-
dude powering 2 generators with thousands of hamsters.
And just endless techno albums just to keep those hamsters moving. But yeah, they talked about how to. I don't know, they threw some numbers out to fix it, and at the most,
1
it would cost
million, 2 million.
257.9 million, so $250 million to reopen it. But they don't know if once they completely fix it and open it, if it has to get shut down for environmental reasons or other things.
We should start talking about large sums of money like they're not. $250 million? I got that laying around, man.
Oh,
what are
man.
you talking about?
I'm on my ass for that shit every day.
Dude, you got no idea. I got so many billions just sitting around.
What's up, Elon Musk?
Jeff
Whoa,
Bezos sucks. You
poor
want to
son
know
of a
why?
bitch,
Yeah,
Jeff
yeah. You just
Bezos.
start calling Elon
Poor
Musk and
bitch.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, you
poor
know those poor,
cocksuckers.
those poor cocksuckers, Elon Musk and
You ever
Bill
heard
Gates,
of this Bill Gates? He's poor as shit, man.
Warren Buffett.
This guy has glasses. He can't even get the surgery to fix his eyes.
Warren Buffett. He has all his money to just
That
make
dude's
himself
dead,
young again.
man. Warren Buffett's been dead for 10 years. He just keeps going around like Weekend at Bernie's. You know? They're keeping him alive that way.
That's hilarious.
Weekend at Bernie's, Warren Buffett.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I have money, and he just throws a bunch of money in his hand.
Like Warren Buffett, let's go to the bingo game.
Who else would be a funny rich guy to make fun of?
Mark Cuban or
Yeah, those are 2 low-hanging fruit, man. I want the fruit at the top of the tree. We're talking Saudi Arabian princes and shit. I'm talking oil blood money, man.
So you're talking like Ben Salam?
Yeah.
Ben Salam, who's the crown prince of Saudi Arabia.
That dude is poor as shit, man. He's making his money off of oil, dude. I'm making my money off of hamsters. Like I said, I got the world's largest hamster farm, y'all.
Cream, cash rules everything around me. Get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
You ever seen what a team of 1,000 hamsters can do?
Pretty crazy. I actually make my money from selling tears of the ostrich. I sell vials of ostrich tears. It makes crazy money. Good. In
There's gonna
pharmaceuticals.
have to be at a point one dude who starts charging people for breathing air.
I'm waiting. Yeah.
There's gotta be a guy out
it's a joke,
there.
but
There's gotta be somebody
Dude,
out there
Rock don't make
charging,
money.
charging a motherfucker
like
for
the
breathing
person-
their air. That's
like-
my air. I got air control.
that's like the person that just managed to get their hands on a bunch of river rocks and sold those pet rocks, and that motherfucker
Made $1
became
million.
millionaire. Yeah,
You want to know why, Trevor? Because
People are
people buy dumb shit.
they do.
We need to stop this consumer lifestyle, y'all. Just stick to the basics: pussy, weed, and fucking drugs.
Hell yeah.
Pussy, weed, and drugs should be your 3
Sounds like-
main vices in life.
That sounds
Everything else is a priority.
like maybe some cocaine. Sounds very Colombian of you.
Yeah, a little coke wouldn't hurt.
I feel like Colombia is the theme so far.
Well, yeah, Colombiana.
Put that down. Oh yeah, obituary. Shout out to Patrick Todd Parks, who died in September, and now for whatever reason they're running his obituary. But yeah,
I think
Local guy who
obituaries have to be written after they're dead, Trevor.
yeah, but
September was just a
a
month, yeah.
month and a half though. That's a
So
long time.
maybe it took some time for them to put them in the paper.
Probably.
There's a backlog of dead people.
There's a backlog of dead people.
To get your name on that obituary, you got to donate to the news.
Yep.
You want your dead husband's name in the paper? Well, we need some paper.
So he liked to study genealogy and geology. Well, that's a few extra dollars to talk about it. His love of nature instinctively led him to geology, and his rock collection ranged from obsidian, crystals, fossils, flint, quartz, agates, and geodes.
Quartz, man, I'm talking pounds.
Oh, pounds. Yeah, shout out dead people.
Shout out weed.
And dead people.
Weed, dead people with weed.
By the way, Halloween's coming up. We will do an episode next Sunday. So yeah, get
Sunday.
And old Michael might join us.
Michael. Yeah,
That's great.
Michael's
I
gonna
feel
be
like
here.
he would be good for Halloween.
He is redheaded, man. He can dress up like a jack-o'-lantern. Yeah, we'd believe it.
He has a very round head, so
He has an extremely round head. That's what I mean. If he dressed up like a jack-o'-lantern, painted his face, I'd be like, perfect.
It's like, I am the great pumpkin.
Yeah. He comes through and he steals everybody's candy and he punches a girl in the face. And you're like, Michael, calm
What
down.
if he's the great?
Give me that candy.
He likes to get wild, but I don't think he would do that. But
Just
he's
some
a great-
young girl. Yeah, give me that shit.
but if he's a great pumpkin, he could teach you the secrets of the pumpkin patch. Ooh,
Spooky.
spooky.
Yeah. But Blade Runner was a cool movie.
Anyways, let me talk about Dungeons and Dragons real quick. Let me kill comments. All right.
What happened at your Double D game? I'm talking big tits.
I wish I missed those.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a way better thing to go to?
D&Ds
If you
were
had
just double Ds.
D&D versus a chick with double D's,
Chick the double D's.
obviously 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
If it's the same girl in the 9th time, maybe you go to D&D on the 10th time.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I think that would be a cool thing.
So back to the non-cool version of D&D versus.
Or Dungeon Master is a topless chick with double D's.
wish.
Right there.
Instead, it's a
It's an old dude.
It's an almost 60-year-old redheaded man with red and white hair, Marshall, but he does a good job.
There you go.
He's been playing Dungeons and Dragons since it started in 1978.
Shout out Marshall.
Yeah, shout out Marshall.
We are Marshall.
Metzger. Yeah. Marshall Tucker Band, in this case, Marshall Metzger Michael.
There was a movie called We Are Marshall.
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes.
saying. We Are Marshall.
I got the reference. The town. But anyways, D&D, we last we had been left off. We were freeing a bunch of slaves from plantation and then just raiding all the shit from the slave owners because we're privateers, which means we're pirates, but we're sponsored
You're
by a country.
pirateers.
Yes, but we're sponsored by a country, so we're like official. So we're like
You guys are like
contractors.
mercs.
Yeah, we're like contractors of an actual license. But
So you got a license from this country to kill in the other country?
Yeah. And so we're doing this, and we were just raiding. We had let a bunch of slaves go. We had gone to the fields and stolen a bunch of spices. Because a bunch of like sugar cane and a bunch of food and cash crops.
You
we were
guys
stealing.
became a bunch of sugar daddies.
Yeah, but spices, as you know, worth a lot of money. So like we're taking all the cash crops.
Well, what do you celebrate with?
Yeah.
But spiced wine and pickles.
That's next episode. That'll be that's an inside joke to the movie we saw last Halloween. But anyways,
That's true.
yes. There's levels. There's levels, Chris.
We're deep, man. We're still waters run deep.
Ooh,
Still waters run deep.
That sounds like interesting. There's also a prison in Minnesota called Stillwater.
Oh yeah.
So, fun fact I learned, apparently I had a great-great-grandfather that he helped build Stillwater, the prison, and then he got convicted and had to serve time in there.
Oh,
so
they
the man helped.
buried him under the prison.
Yeah, he was, a carpenter from way back in the day, and yeah, I think his son was the one that went to World War I, got drunk, and got hit and killed by a train. But yeah, good times.
Wouldn't it be crazy to be
So
a dude
still waters run deep.
building the prison, talking all that shit about?
And then you end up
yeah, oh, these dumb fucks are gonna end up in this cell.
there. And
I'm
then
building
some
this
shit
cell.
happened, yeah.
But it'd probably be great because you know all the flaws in the building.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh man, Jefferson built that? Pfft, he's an idiot, and just break out a wall.
I mean, the Stillwater's a prison, and what's crazy about it, it's right on the Great Lakes, so it's right on the Canadian border. So the winter times are brutal as fuck. So the winter time, it's like you're not going to go anywhere. It's winter time at 30, 40 below that will just kill you.
That's the funniest part about prisons. They build them in places where nobody wants to be.
Yeah.
Like Alcatraz, they built it on a fucking island.
I've actually been to Alcatraz.
For
and
real?
Yes. I went in 8th grade. We took a field trip out there because we're 2 hours
That's
away.
dope.
And it was awesome. But yeah, you go out there. We had to take a ferry out there. Yeah, dude, that place it's far enough away. And the thing
You
is,
try to swim for it.
it's a mile of ocean And in this mile of ocean, it's the Pacific, but it's cold. You're just north enough where it's cold.
Yeah.
There's great white sharks that go through the bay all the time.
Yeah.
There's rocks. Like, it's dangerous. There's people that die all the time who's swimming in the bay.
Yeah.
Ooh, tell me when to go.
Ooh,
Tell me when to
all
go.
about progression. Yeah, man.
Ghost ride the shark. Ghost ride the shark.
So what ended up happening?
So the so we were looking for nobles to like kill them and be like, oh,
Looking for people that were noble to kill them?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
pretty noble of us, I know.
Pretty.
But they were slave owners, so fuck them.
What is irony? You know.
Tragedy over time, which is comedy or irony. But anyways, so we're
It's like rain.
finished. So we saw this young noble girl and we're like, oh, we're gonna murder her and then from there like go from there. So one of my friends, he's a giant creature that's like a boar, like a were-boar, like a giant pig that's a human that can talk. Almost like from Beauty and the Beast, like the Beast. Imagine that.
Who was Jonah in the Bible?
He was the guy that swallowed by the whale.
That's right. That's right.
Anyways, so he was following this girl up this tower. So being a ninja pirate, I followed him up real sneaky, and then she saw us, and then immediately she I guess she opened up this pit and opened up a gateway to hell and like drew a pentagram on herself and traded her soul to become a demon and summoned 4 hellhounds. And then they immediately went for me. They didn't go for Jonah. Like, they immediately went for me, so I had to, like, do smoke bombs, a bunch of shit. I almost got killed. And Jonah turned into a giant mountain lion and had to wrestle her around. But we didn't realize how strong she is. And we almost died. And then Michael showed up, and Michael plays a witch and started casting spells. And then I stabbed her a bunch with poison blades. And then I got teleported out with this bird, this raven that saved my life. It switched spots with me and then it escaped. And then Jonah eventually got it enough weapons that she turned into a human again. And then he crushed her head in. And then we took all the shit and we freed the slaves and we left some boats for him. Like, hey, if you want freedom, right over there. And then we got on our ships and got the fuck out of there and burned all the places down.
It's like a constant theme in D&D that you're almost on the brink of death constantly. Mm-hmm. But if you have the right rolls and the right spells, you got it.
By the way, we found a giant badass spell book, and I got this cool badass sword, and we got spices, and our ship and our crew, we just made crazy money. So
crazy money.
We're gonna go back to port, give our portion to the king, and go from there. And then eventually we're gonna go out.
Why don't you
west.
tell the king to go fuck himself? You're a pirate.
Well, we're getting there. We're still not that high up in levels yet.
Oh man,
we gotta work our way up.
You gotta tell the king, hey, we don't want none of your king stuff.
We're not pirate kings yet.
We're all about lesbian seagulls.
We're only level 5 right now. Maybe like level 10 we can.
How about we talk about the guy 2 nights ago that got stabbed out in front of our apartment?
Oh yes. Let's go. So right. I guess
we're going to bed pretty much.
Literally right out my window. I could literally see the guy right out my window.
Me too.
Yes. Well, he wasn't quite on the corner. It was over here. So on this side, it was the alley side. Chris isn't on the alley because he's not cool enough. That's all right.
Oh.
He went out to the living room and saw it happen too. Anyways, drunk college guy. He's on a date with the chick. He screamed about that too. I was on a date.
Yeah.
And then she was screaming about it too. But he and this chick on a date. Homeless dude comes up, fucks with their car. Drunk college guy is like, I'll handle this.
I'm a tough guy.
I'm a tough guy.
I'm a real tough guy.
He chases him down the alleyway. Homeless dude stabs him.
He stabs him in the hand.
And then the guy just, I got stabbed.
Yeah.
For 2 hours. Screams about it. And mind you, we are half a block from the giant hospital.
Not even a half a block.
Less than half a quarter of a block.
Not even a quarter, bro. The hospital is right next door. Like, literally, we live beside the hospital.
We're literally 50
yards. We're one building from the hospital.
Yeah, we're 50 yards from the hospital.
There's a goddamn a Dairy Queen in the way.
There's a Dairy Queen and a pizza shop in the way.
Nothing
I can
else.
literally standing up. I can see the emergency room sign. from
So
there.
this dude gets stabbed, and the cops show up, and they're the first ones there, and he's trying to scream about the guy's going that way, and they didn't go after the guy because they were trying to deal with the person that was stabbed.
Yeah.
So it was hilarious because when the cops got there, they were trying to calm him down. He wouldn't stop fucking flipping out, and he just kept on about how this guy stabbed me. You need to go get this guy, but they're not going after him, And what ends up happening
got away.
is, the fucking guy got away. So what ends up happening is the fire truck shows up, and the paramedics get out, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. He's explaining to the cops that he was stabbed, and the cops come up with the idea that he just should walk over to the hospital, which is right here, and
couldn't be
just
any
get
closer to the
treatment.
hospital.
Yeah, because they had a fucking fire engine basically in front of the hospital. It made no sense. He should have just walked to the hospital.
He was drunk and he
was
wanted
drunk,
a moment.
and he wanted a moment. Yeah, 100%. He liked the attention.
He loved the attention.
So the guy starts flipping out because they wouldn't wrap his hand up immediately. Like he's like, I am bleeding out. I'm bleeding out.
I'm a hemophiliac.
Yeah, he said something about his blood not clotting.
My blood won't clot. It's a condition. Well, sir, just walk right over here. It'll take you a minute to walk over.
So
No, treat me.
he was all worked up on fucking adrenaline, and he was getting in the cops' face, like screaming at the cops. And
I was hoping to get tased
I
or
am not from a place where that is a real thing. In South Florida, if you get up in a cop's face and you fucking yell at them, they just knock you out, bro. They'll knock you out and say you hit them first, and that's it.
Sacramento too, like you're getting tased, like something's happening.
Yeah, it was weird. We're in a very liberal town, and most of the Eugene cops are nice enough not to hit a drunk guy that's just been stabbed.
Yeah, drunk college guy.
But he was making it so much worse for himself. He kept screaming at the cops and the paramedics, "You're not treating me! You're not treating me!"
And the chick he was going on a date with, she was screaming too, right down there, and she was waving this blanket. I don't know if you heard her too.
I heard somebody else
That
yelling,
was
but
her.
he was screaming over everybody.
She was screaming, and then he took over. But yeah,
The
Fucking
guy
people.
was stabbed. They weren't fucking giving him first aid immediately because he was right next to the hospital. He should just walked his drunk ass
Yeah.
over. But I guess it wouldn't have been much more help for a bleeding guy to just walk through the ER. So they wrapped his hand.
That's
The
it.
fire truck got out of there.
it wasn't a life-threatening
No,
stab.
he was making it into a bigger situation than it was, but then he throws the whole, I want all of your badge numbers.
Yep.
I want to know, Ramirez, is that you? Yes, I want all of your, like, he was
I
just
want to
so-
make. I want. Yeah, this
he
guy
wanted
should
to get paid. He wanted a payday off of the cops not fucking tending to his wound
So
immediately.
yeah, fuck this guy.
Dude, I
You're
hope,
a bitch.
I was going to yell out
You're
the
a
window,
bitch.
but it would have made no fucking better of a situation. I was going to yell, hey, why doesn't somebody finish the job and stab this guy in the throat?
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Great
was like,
mind.
man, shut this guy up.
Yeah, why doesn't somebody just kill him?
This guy sucks.
Well, he maybe didn't suck, but he was a drunk guy who was bleeding, and I think a lot of the whole thing just started because he was drunk. Mm-hmm. If he was sober, he probably would have called the cops, or he probably would have seen the dude with the knife coming at him. You know, you make a lot of dumb decisions sometimes when you're drunk. And probably trying to fight a homeless guy isn't always the best option. I know from personal experience.
Especially at nighttime when the guy was on a bike.
Yeah,
This guy was on.
It's a sad fact, man, but this world is not safe. Most of the people run around with knives or guns.
A lot more on bikes. So a dude
People
that roams around all the time, he can real quick on a bike stab your hand and then skitter off somewhere.
He'd stab you in the throat and just dip. You know, it doesn't need to be the hand, but you need to be careful who you pick your fights with in this world, man. There are a lot more crazier people than just us. You know, crazy always beats fucking angry every time.
Yes. They have places full of crazy, like Colombia. So there you go.
Yeah. But the dude got stabbed. The cops helped him out. The whole story is that, you know, instead of seeking help from the right people, he was making a big scene. I don't know. If you guys would have seen it, man, it would have been crazy.
Yes. Oh, another fun one. Monday, I got aggressively panhandled and almost got into a confrontation with a deaf man when I was on my way to the bank.
Yeah, Trevor was trying to start a fight with the deaf guy.
No, he was trying to start a fight with me.
No, Trevor walked up
You
to this
weren't
deaf
there,
guy,
Chris. You weren't
slapped his deaf face, and
No. I was walking along, he started grunting at me. He started matching my pace. So like, he's on good drugs. That's what he sounded like. Beaker, like someone from like someone from the Muppet Show. And he kind of looked like a slightly heavier set version of Beaker.
Mana.
And he looked like a Muppets character. So I had this like Muppets character like walking in pace with me, right next to me, and started shoving this cardboard sign in my face. And I like took a step back and got ready, like, all right, I'm gonna have to fight this guy. And I read the sign that says, "I am deaf. Please help me." So I looked in my wallet. I had like 3 quarters, and I'm like, "This is all I have." And I showed it to him. He's like, and he like did this weird like
Did
chicken
a seal
dance.
clap.
Did like a seal clap, a weird chicken dance, and then scared off like a cockroach. And I was like, all right. And I went and like handled my business. But yeah, people, even if you're deaf, like, be careful. Like, don't be super aggressive just because you're deaf. Like, I get it sucks, but you might get attacked.
Everybody's disabled until somebody else is more disabled. Like if a deaf guy hits a retarded guy, I don't care how deaf that guy is. He knows he did something wrong. You know, everybody's got a disability, man. So just don't go hitting on anybody that doesn't deserve it. You'll know when the time comes to hit somebody because you'll just do it. There won't be any fucking thought about it. You'll just knock a motherfucker for doing something wrong.
It happens.
It does, but the problem I think lies in that if you get into any confrontation or any altercation these days, you immediately go to jail. It's fucking retarded in the sense that people fight. People are going to fight. And as long as they're both not willing to press charges, like most cops for the most part will look the other way.
Yeah.
But in certain states, you get into a fight no matter what, you're going.
Like,
you know,
Oregon is one of the Measure 11. It's called Measure 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't go to jail that one night for fighting that homeless dude was because he sucker punched me. And then I defended myself. And I didn't take another swing once I dropped him. You know, I just laid on top of him.
Otherwise, you would have gone to jail.
Well, I made sure he got dropped on his head. So
yeah.
I think that he sucker punched me and I dropped him on his skull. I think it was tit for tat, you know, and that was it.
So anyways.
Yeah, life goes on.
We got, want to do one more? You can do demographics of Republican candidates.
It feels like too long of a subject.
For another time.
Let's leave on a light note. Something good that happened to you today. You have anything good happen to you?
I came here and got to hang out with you and do this podcast.
Hell yeah. Shout out podcast, man. Sometimes this is the highlight of the day for sure. Highlight of the day for me. All the guys at work busted their ass, man. Everybody worked hard and everybody did a good job, man. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. You know, you can't ask for fucking people to break their backs and shit constantly. So just showing up, being a part of a team and helping out, man. Sometimes that's just all you need to do.
They're Goonies of you.
Teamwork, man. Teamwork. If that's anything I can leave you guys with, just work together. Don't let the system drag you down. Trevor?
Yeah.
Let these people hear something beautiful. like that. That was great.
Still waters run deep.
Yeah,
Episode.
exactly.
'Cause life is deep, and
So are we. All right, folks. This has been a great episode. We'll catch you next time this Sunday. Coming up, our Halloween episode. We
the
definitely,
episode's uploaded.
yeah, we'll definitely have the next episode uploaded here this weekend. Check us out at Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe on Facebook and YouTube.
And apparently Instagram too. Dylan's
We do
also
have an
posted us, too.
Instagram, yeah, but we got to get better at social media. It's just tough.
Yeah.
If you guys know anybody that's willing to intern for a podcast going absolutely everywhere, let us know. Drop us an email.
By the way, email is tallstrom@1990.email.com or the Two Lonely Boys in the Canoe @gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out. All right, folks, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Be good.